So I'm very glad you brought up the homeless situation because when 2 years ago I was working to do some homeless shelters in the Bronx. I was working with some homeless shelter operators, and I understand the importance behind it. And what came to be the issue, and maybe you can comment on this because you have a lot of relationships in government and whatnot. What came to be the issue is that there wound up being too much red tape with everything, and we were trying to do a homeless shelter deal in the northern part of the Bronx in an industrial warehouse. They were going to convert it. It was a one-story warehouse. Would have been perfect, quite frankly. And we had 6 or 7 showings. Long story short, when you're negotiating something for so long, the landlord just didn't want to do the deal anymore. It wound up taking way too long. We had to have this person come, and then this city person come, and this city person come, and so forth and so on. I think there is an absolute need right now for homeless shelters. How can we? De Blasio said he wanted to do 90 in his 2 terms or something along the lines of that, and he didn't get all the way there. What can we do to get homeless shelters going again? Because it seems like you have a lot of these people who are like, not in my backyard people. Yeah. You get a lot of those people. And you saw during the pandemic, unfortunately, the homeless situation grew. And, it was already a problem beforehand, and it grew. And then, I don't know, I heard some stories on the Upper West Side and this, that, and the other thing. So what can we do to get more homeless shelters? Because we really do need them. I think that it's just a matter of, like, where they go. And I have more to talk about, but, yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah. And I think it's really interesting to see how shelters are received in different parts of the city. Here in the South Bronx, I'm very active with the community board, and that's something that comes up consistently because in the South Bronx and East Harlem especially, we already have an influx, a ton of shelters, substance abuse clinics.
Yeah.
And even when it's important to take care of people at different stages, dealing with different issues, you have to ask yourself, what would having another shelter do to an area that has a really high concentration of shelters already? I think, honestly, so much of it is reliant on people being willing to know that there is something near them. When we have, mixed income.
There's some feedback on our... Do you hear that? Are you hearing
that?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is what happens when I'm doing everything myself,
A lot of energy here.
Yeah. There we go. All right. That was it. Voltage. Too much voltage. See, Sosa is an expert with this. I'm telling you, this is like, I was like piecing this together.
I'll keep the energy down too.
Yeah. No, it's both of us. So you mentioned too many homeless shelters being in close proximity to each other. So I used to represent a building on 138th Street in Port Morris when I was at my old company, and we were trying to lease the 3rd floor out to a homeless shelter. What wound up being the issue is there was like a homeless shelter like 2 doors, 2 blocks down or something like that, and then that became an issue. But you're in an industrial neighborhood. I was a little bit confused there. I thought that it would make sense, quite frankly. It's close enough to a subway and public transportation where everybody could kind of get there. Yeah. And then when, did this die again? I'm telling you. Yeah, no, we're still good. What's it called? What became the issue, I'm sorry, I'm making sure that we're still live. This is what happens when I'm like... Okay, we're good. In any case, I was fairly disappointed with all the work that we had put in. Now, it wasn't even that much work because I think it was like 2 meetings, and then we found out. I thought that it was kind of weird because the space could have worked perfectly for a homeless shelter, and I think that being too concerned with if there's a neighborhood where it's easily accessed by people. Is there a problem with having too many homeless people in one area, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think? Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. How so? I'm kind of curious. Yeah.
There's the symbolic piece of, showing that a neighborhood is only good for concentrating poverty. And unfortunately, whether we like it or not, when you have a lot of people who are not invested in properly, it just opens the floodgates for so many other issues. Like
Yeah.
the government won't prioritize it. People are afraid to invest in the area.
That's true. Yeah, the
So you need a
investment
mix of people.
aspect is going to be an issue.
And then there's all the logistical aspects. If you need more security somewhere, if you need more issues, more funding to go to a place, it can even be more expensive or too expensive for a local council member or like a government agency to give the services needed to that area because there's just so much need.
Yeah.
So you can't ever concentrate all of that poverty, all of those needs, that substance.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. It becomes the neighborhood becomes labeled. You make a really, really good point in the fact that the neighborhood becomes labeled. I'm still chopping things around. Just want to make sure we haven't. Yeah. I really appreciate you putting up with me.
All good.
Just the live thing just keeps cutting out, and I think it's because I don't know why, but my live just keeps cutting out, and I'm just.
Yeah.
Trying to monitor everything at once. We have. I guess the snow kind of calmed down a little bit, but all right, we're back on. All right, good. No more view. Oh, one more view.